Right now, there is noise inside your skull that has never existed before in human history. Not outside. Inside. A constant low-level hum of half-formed thoughts, notifications replaying, songs you didn't choose to hear. A mind that never fully lands anywhere. Before writing existed, the human mind worked differently. To roughly 5,000 years ago, before the first written word existed, every single human alive was living entirely inside spoken language and memory. There were no lists, no records, no reminders on your phone, no text to glance back at. If something mattered, your mind had to hold it completely, physically, the way you'd hold water in cupped hands. The Yolngu people of Australia can recall hundreds of generations of genealogy without a single written word. Aboriginal Australians navigate thousands of miles of featureless desert using only memorized songs, a system called songlines, that encode landscape, direction, and history into rhythm and melody. Their minds are not doing what yours is doing right now. Your brain, right now, is outsourcing. The moment writing became available, the human mind began offloading. Why hold something in memory when you can write it down? Why build an internal map when you can draw one? The mind, always efficient, began contracting the systems it no longer needed. In 2011, a team at Columbia University led by Betsy Sparrow ran a series of experiments on what they called the Google effect. When people believed information was being saved somewhere, they immediately stopped trying to remember it. Not gradually. Immediately. One decision. The moment the brain trusted an external system, it let go. Writing was the original external system. But here's what that trade cost us. Oral cultures don't just remember differently. They think differently. Without text to return to, every thought had to be complete before it left your mouth. Every idea had to be fully formed inside your mind before it existed anywhere. There was no rough draft. No half-finished sentence saved for later. Psychologists studying oral cognitive patterns have found that pre-literate thinking tends to be situational rather than abstract, concrete rather than categorical. When researchers showed members of non-literate cultures a list of objects and asked them to group similar items, they grouped them by function, not by category. An axe goes with wood, not with a hammer. Because in a world without written categories, everything is defined by what it does in your actual life, not what shelf it belongs on in someone else's system. They were not living inside concepts. They were living inside experience. And the silence. The silence was not empty. Before the written word, before the mind learned to read invisible text inside its own head, the internal voice was quieter. Researchers believe that the constant verbal inner monologue most modern humans experience, that running commentary that never stops, is at least partially a product of literacy. Reading trains your brain to generate internal speech. You start narrating your own life without choosing to. The pre-literate mind didn't do that. It observed. It remembered. It listened in a way we no longer have the architecture for. You are not distracted because you are weak. You are distracted because you are running software that was never designed for the hardware that came before it. Writing rewired the human brain in roughly 5,000 years. Evolution had 300,000 years of different plans. Somewhere inside you is the mind that came before the page. The one that could hold everything it needed. The one that lived in experience instead of commentary. The one that knew what real silence actually felt like. You've never heard it, but it remembers you.